Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for following up. Thank you so much for checking on me. We're going to look at this dress. It's an A-line dress. You can look at it, the sewing, the cutting. And don't forget to subscribe. That means a lot to me. So let's start. Okay, you get your material, you fold it. We've measured 16 inches, so the neck, let's go with a 3 as usual. Let's go with 3. Then the crossback, we go with 8. Then the arm circumference, you're going to slope. You're going to slope 10 inches. Then up, you're going to remove 1 inch. Then you slant it to the neckline. Then the neckline, the curve, you can curve with 3. So this kind of dress, the A-line dress, we're going to start with the back part. Then the arms, the bust, that is the bust. The bust went with 12.5. So we started with the back part. Then that is the hip line. The hip line, the first cut is 7. Then where we're going to find the hips, we find them at also 7. No, it's 8 on 8. Sorry, 8 on 8. Then you draw a line like a letter A, capital A. That's why it's called A line. So then after you cut it out, then you get your front part material. You also fold it into 2. Then you bring and press your back part. Then that remaining part is a button stand. This you just trace like an equal part. It has to be equal on the sides. Then that is the button stand. You fold it. The button stand is going to help us to give us a very special design, a unique design. Then you slope again for the neck. You can slope like 7, 5, 6, it depends, inches. And another thing, everything I do it in inches. Then the arms, down here we went for 7. Then up here you slope 5 inches or 6, but I already slope 5. Then you just slant it and curve it like that. After you cut, before you cut, sorry, you first connect it to the 7. And after you cut, so our work is going to look like this. The dress is going to look like that before stitching. So that's how it's going to look like. Okay, you first iron the button stand. You iron it very well, like this. Then after you stitch the button stand from the ironing line, the line where you folded it from, that's the line. You just sew it straight. You also stitch on the edge. And then you can decide where you want your button stand to face, right or left. Then you stitch on top. You hook it up so that it doesn't move when you're sewing, both bottom and up. So guys, let's put the front part with the back part. You start with a shoulder slanting. Shoulder slanting, you go with 1 inch. Even the front on the neckline, you go with 1 inch, cause you remember you slanted it already. So make it as if it's equal, but it's not going to look equal. It's going to remain slanting. A shoulder is supposed to be slanting, like on this kind of dress we're making. Both sides, make sure they are equal. You make 1 inch, 1 inch on the shoulder slanting. So that is our neck, the neckline. We're just going to paint the behind part. The front part is finished. Then we're going to see the arms. The arms area. You're going to bring the lace part or any material you've decided to use. But when you're stitching, start from the middle and remove 1 inch. Because of the front part, we had to remove some 1 inch from the arms area down there near the armpits. So you bring that inch, is going to add on the front part of the where you removed the other inch, because after removing it, the front part, it has to enlarge by 1 inch. So when you're putting arm, make sure you start from the middle so that you don't mess it up. That will help you to measure very well. So the hand, just flip it, then you sew from the other side. So this is our hand. After finishing the hand, we are going to look at the pockets, the inside pockets. Measuring the inside pockets, you measure from the armpits, where the armpits ended, then you slope down by 8 inches. That's why you're going to put your pocket. I'm soon making a video about cutting this pocket and fixing it, but here it will help you. So this is a pocket where you measured from, that is 8 inches, that's where you start from. You stitch it when it's equal. And another thing, this is the middle of the pocket. After the middle, above the middle, you're going to skip 1/2 inch. That's why you're going to stop stitching from. You leave that middle part unstitched. So you lock it very well. Whenever you stop, you lock it. So you just bring it and cover it on top. Then you also bring the other side of the arm, the same arm. So we are dealing with the side of the hip. You connect. After connecting it, you also stitch it. Make sure you also stop where on the 0.5 you don't stitch it up to the middle part for easy unfolding. So if you're done, putting them both together. Then you're going to stitch starting from the arm's wrist. Make sure the armpits are equal, they are connected together. Then you open the notches so that you avoid bulk nails. There you double stitch the armpits because people overraise their hands, so it helps it to be very firm. So the pocket and the pocket, side pocket and this pocket, you have to connect them together. Also, that's where the pocket starts from. Then you skip and slope down like like half an inch, that is 0.5. Then you leave the needle inside and just turn the dress and stitch that pocket. So the pocket hole, some people you can leave them at 5 inches, 4 inches, but I always make ready to wear, so this is not my outfit, it's in my stock. So ready to wear I went with 5.5 inches. That's where you're going to stitch from, and you have to make sure that hip line areas are connected very well. And you don't forget to double lock. So you're going to leave that space there because you're going to connect the bottom part. We are going to connect these. Okay, these are the kind of the pleats down that we're going to connect, so you have to leave that space. So how to make them? You start by folding this together and you stitch it. You can use like any measurements. You can do any size you want. You can decide your string to stop at 1 inch, 0.5, 2 inches. It depends on what you want. Me, I went with 0.5. So that is done. You're going to cut 3.5 inches for everything. All the strings, make them 3.5. You can, it depends. If you want, you can make 4, you can make 2. Me, I went with 3.5 inches. So let's put them on the dress. We start with the upper part. Where I left the space, I left 1 inch. Then from 1 inch, you're going to be putting these strings. You're going to stitch them on 2 inches. This is the upper part. We haven't put the bottom, so this is the upper part. I used 0.2. You can use any measurements you want. Me, I used 0.2. I'm sorry, 2 inches, not 0.2. I used 2 inches. So you put them all through or around. So before you put the bottom, you have to close this part where you started from. So the bottom part, I used 80 inches. 80 inches, so 80 inches, 80, 80, 8 and 0 inches. So that is 80. So you make it, you stitch it through around, and and it looks like a skirt without elastic, but a wide skirt. So where you've stitched, you're going to connect it. Before connecting it, you have to make sure that okay, this I had to remain with some allowance. 12.5. The reason why I left 12.5 times 2, that is 25. The reason why I left this 25 down part, because the dress came in A-line shape. Don't let it straight. Down you're going to use 3 inches. The upper part we used 2 inches. The space we skipped 2 inches, but this time around on the bottom you're going to skip 3 inches.
And
this outfit is not going to disturb you. You're just going to get your actual measurements and bring out the final results.
Here we measure
so upper part we use 2 inches.
Down we are going to measure
so on
3.
the bottom, connecting
So
the
from
bottom,
here
you skip
up
3
here,
inches.
measure 3.
And when you find where you've left some spaces missing, like you've got maybe you've put something, a big space, a big cloth, the bottom part, when some space is remaining, you just cut it off. To me, I measured very well, everything was perfect. Down 3 inches and up 2 inches. This helps the dress to curve. It flows very well, and it gives that A-line shape with ruffles, some bit of ruffles down. So that's it, that is the last one, and it is just perfect. So that is the inside part of the cloth. The dress is the inside part of it, the pockets, the strings. So now you're going to top stitch these strings to enter inside like that on both, on the bottom part and the upper part, so that they can connect and get glued together. It helps it to look very neat. Don't leave them hanging. So guys, that's how you top stitch it. Okay guys, that is our finished outfit.
Find it and take it, don't let regret it. don't lose it, don't let confuse it. Only then you be God.